What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Destiny 2 exotic review video. Obviously in Warmind we got a lot of new exotics, and I do want to go over one of the new Warlock Exotics. It's called the Sanguine Alchemy. Let's go over its perks. So it comes with Heightened Senses. Standing in a rift grants an enhanced radar and marks high priority targets for you and your allies. So how to obtain this exotic? Considering it isn't an exotic tied to a quest, it's essentially a random drop either from an exotic engram, or potentially you could get it from Xur if he brings it during that week, or if you don't have it yet, the Fated engram gives you a chance at this exotic. So here's a summary of my thought on the perk Heightened Senses. Essentially, this perk allows you to see your enemies with the tracker symbol, plus you can see them through walls as well, which is pretty cool. One thing I noticed was that if an enemy is at a certain distance, the perk won't be able to like see or track them. So there's like a cutoff distance with this exotic versus like the foe tracer for the hunter, right? In my opinion, it's like made for close quarter engagements, especially when using like a healing rift. You're able to see an enemy through a wall and see when they're about to round the corner, which means you can get the drop on them as well as like have an overshield. Or you could do extra damage depending on what rift you use. Obviously, if you want extra damage, you'd probably go with the empowering rift. Apparently there's a glitch to where the more people that are in your rift, when you get a kill, the more orbs that drop from that enemy, which is kind of cool because this is like the only exotic that allows that, so you have to have this exotic on for the glitch to work. But essentially, if you're in it by yourself, getting a kill drops 1 orb, and if you have 2 people in your rift there, it actually drops 2 orbs. So obviously if you have 4 teammates in there, it drops 4 orbs and whatnot. I think it's a little different depending on who gets the kill. I think if you get the kill, you spawn more orbs, I'm pretty sure. I haven't really tested it out a lot, but I've seen a lot of videos about how to like work this glitch so you can get your super faster in Crucible. PvE wise, I'm not even going to go over PvE because this would have no viability in any PvE situation, right? You don't need to see where the ads are because they're going to be up in your face anyway, so this exotic is completely pointless in PvE activities. Like, maybe the glitch would be useful if everybody's sitting in the rift and everybody's creating orbs, but I really don't see need. There's obviously people that can be rocking tethers. There's people that can be rocking like Lunafaction boots, which is like the top PvE exotic, so I don't really see a point to use this in PvE. PvP is the interesting thing, right? So in the Crucible, this is definitely like, it's something different to use, right? I already mentioned that it should be used in close quarters engagement, which I believe is where it could perform the best. It can also be viable at a medium range when enemies are invisible or behind a rock crouching or something like that, so you can't see them. Knowing exactly where your enemy is basically like giving a Warlock the Hunter exotic. We already talked about Foe Tracer, which can track opponents, except this one, you can track up to 4 opponents, right? Which is insane. So the plus side to the Sanguine Alchemy is that you can see all of your enemies versus just one. I was using this Scout and a Sidearm, I'm pretty sure, with this build, so I could pick off enemies from a distance and up close. I highly recommend carrying a Sidearm or an SMG just for those close quarters combat situations, because usually when you're dropping a healing rift, you're either weak and you're going to drop it and somebody's going to try to rush you to take you down, right? So another thing I wanted to point out is how good this thing would be in competitive, right? If you're playing Countdown and you're all waiting for the enemy team to show up and deny your bomb or something, like how good would it be to be able to see who's going where so you can plan accordingly with your team? Like, you drop the rift, you can hop the rift and say, oh, 2 people are going this way and 2 people are trying to hit up the flank, right? In quick play, obviously it performs well, but everyone can see you just because of the radar. The advantage you get in quick play is that when somebody comes through a doorway, you can like get those first shots off. Obviously it's like the same thing with competitive, but the only way you can actually do that is if you have the rift up, and if you want to get it very often, you're probably going to have to rock some class mods, like class ability mods, right? Finally, my ranking is a 7 out of 10. Overall, this exotic was made for the Crucible and potentially could be a big player in terms of PvP exotics. I know that people in the community haven't really found the best quote-unquote exotic for Warlocks. I know a lot of people use the Ophidian aspect, the transversive steps, and like those are all great and all, but this one could be a key player. Like, I know on Heightened Senses is the main thing to use, and obviously on Hunters, the Wormhusk Crown takes the cake, right? Maybe this can be the next big Warlock exotic, and I highly recommend testing it out in the Crucible with both types of rifts. It's definitely interesting to try to figure out like which rift you should do. Like, if you do Empowering Rift, you should probably do Devourer Tree on the Voidwalker, where you can like eat your grenade and get health back on kills plus have the extra damage. Like, there's definitely some builds you can do with this thing, right? So I highly recommend trying it out in quick play and competitive playlists just to see if you like it. Alright guys, that's my review over the Sanguine Alchemy Exotic Warlock chest piece. If you want to help support me, there'll be a link below. Say best way to support me. I'll take you to a 4-minute video. If you don't want to do that, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, turn the notification bell, next subscribe if you mean notified when I drop some new content on the channel, and then comment what you guys want to see below. I'm making content for y'all, so whatever you're going to see, I'll try to get out there as quickly as possible. Also, we have the Discord link below. We're letting everybody in. There's no requirements. You don't have to be part of the clan. You don't even have to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can just join it. We're talking about some current games and some upcoming games that are going to be coming out within, I would say the year, especially like things like Destiny 2 Forsaken, Division 2, obviously games like Anthem and stuff like that. And we have some voice chats as well, so if you want that crispy audio connection when it comes to either doing a Nightfall or a raid or something like that, we have people available for you to play with, which is pretty awesome. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.